I love you.
Welcome back to the Couch Potatoes. Plenty of room here on this big old couch of ours. Come on in, have a seat. I am the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
And I am the throatless Leon, but I still need to,
Jesus.
I'm going to take it again. I am the faceless Leon, and I was thirsty, so I had to think of how I am thirsty without a mouth. Yeah.
I understand. I was like, throatless Leon, oh my gosh, that's sad.
Yeah, anyhow.
Like a throat around here.
This is a podcast about movies and TV called Green Faces on the Couch. And
yes, it is.
We are returning to the Batman playlist, which we started a long time ago. It doesn't feel like that long ago, but the last time we talked about it was the last time we talked about Batman was episode 174, and this is episode 338 or something like that.
Good God.
Yeah. Yeah, nearly...
We've done a lot of episodes.
Nearly twice as many as...
Holy schnapples.
Yeah. But it doesn't seem like it was that long ago that we talked that last animated movie.
Well, we're finally to the good Batman movies, though.
Yeah, the ones that...
The animated are good.
Yeah, but they're also
Michael Caine's
I feel like... Yeah, I feel like the direction that they
not Michael
took...
Caine.
Michael, you meant Tim Burton. Michael Caine is good.
Michael Caine is good. I meant Michael Keaton. But yeah, Tim Burton.
Okay, yeah. That makes more sense. So I think with those films, the focus was on making it campy, like early comic books. And like the TV show and the cartoons that had existed. With this one, they wanted to take a really serious, almost realistic approach.
Almost.
I say almost.
Very close.
Yeah, because some of his gadgets and whatnot, they're not too far-fetched, but... Yeah.
They're grounded in that, militaristic... realism.
Yes.
The military can afford this kind of stuff because we're dumping billions and billions of dollars into it.
Yeah.
But a single individual,
Yeah. I did think a couple days ago, why do we want to talk about Batman again? And, at this time where, the multi-billionaires are
exactly.
Yeah, getting a lot stronger. And I think that's because what we really want to see is Bezos out on those streets.
Not even Bezos, Elon. Elon literally has the amount of money Bruce Wayne.
Elon's done.
Elon sucks. I'm not saying anything good about Elon. I'm saying Elon literally has the amount of money needed to be Bruce Wayne or Batman.
Yeah,
and he's decided to just be an utter douchebag.
Yeah, I know. He decided to be. I'm not gonna compare him to.
Just do it.
1940s villains, but. Anyhow, we're going to talk about Christopher Nolan's first Batman movie, and the only one to bear the name Batman.
That's not true. Batman Begins.
That's what I'm saying. This one is Batman Begins.
Oh, I thought you said the only one to bear the name Batman.
Yeah, out of Christopher Nolan's movies.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I get you. Joel Schumacher's Batman and Robin flopped epically. It was really bad in the theaters. The campy style had gotten too much. People just didn't really care anymore. And then lo and behold, here comes Christopher Nolan to do what, honestly, even though I love this movie, it ruined Hollywood. Because all it did was inspire a shit ton of reboots. Way too many reboots. And it was great for what it did. It rebooted everything, and it was just like, hey, we got a serious Batman here. This is fun.
I don't remember when Iron Man came out, but I do feel like this movie really kicked off the superhero craze of the 2000s.
I feel that too.
That's still going on.
Yeah. We haven't lived it down yet. And it's also kind of weird too that they chose Chris Nolan because this was his fourth movie. He had only made The Following, Memento, and Insomnia, I believe. Wow. And so it's kind of crazy that like those movies are good. Mm-hmm. What makes those movies good is the vision, the story, and then all of a sudden he just gets a shit ton of money and he's just like, oh my god, do Batman. It's like, oh, okay. I would not have expected Chris Nolan after 3 movies. Like I didn't know who Chris Nolan was before this. Not a lot of people did, but
no, but Memento I believe was his debut movie, and for that
Following was his debut.
Is a fantastic
Following
movie.
was.
Huh?
Following was.
The Following was?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it was one of his movies that was still in an independent production and started in festivals and then went to theaters. Following
was a it's not, in my opinion, it's not good. I watched it once and I watched it twice because I fell asleep the first time. And it's black and white. It just follows this dude who follows other people around, and it's like, it's good. It's just, it's kind of like, it's one of those like, I need to get money, please notice me. And it did the job because he got enough money to do Memento. And then Insomnia came along, and Insomnia is good. Insomnia, I feel like, is,
I don't think I've ever
I think that's the Al Pacino and, God, I want to say Robin Williams, but I don't think it is Robin Williams.
That would be interesting.
Hold on, I gotta look it up. I need to know.
Sure.
I don't think it is. I think I'm thinking of a different movie when I'm thinking Robin Williams. But I know it's Al Pacino.
Okay.
Insomnia. Al Pacino, Robin Williams. Okay, I am thinking the right movie.
Good pool.
Yeah, he plays.
Good
it's a very serious role for both of them, but it's about a detective who's suffering insomnia. I want to say he's either in like Alaska or like one of those countries that barely ever sees nighttime. It's always like very daylight, and so and Al Pacino is struggling to sleep the whole movie, and it's good. I do recommend it. But yeah, somehow he managed to land Batman Begins, and his career's never stopped since then. He has just been throwing out bangers left and right.
And I really appreciate the integrity that he brought to this film, because it could have been a more Hollywood schlock. Yeah. If he wasn't the one who pitched the idea in the first place, and somebody was like, "Hey, I want to hire you for this," I really appreciate him taking the job seriously, because I do think it led to other serious superhero movies, which are good.
I agree. No,
and I like the genre.
I do think before he was assigned this movie, I do think they had Darren Aronofsky picked out for directing it, which that would have been very weird. I think. I don't think that would have succeeded as well. I like Darren Aronofsky, but I just don't think this film would have made it.
It would have been something different.
It would have been weird. It would have been pretty weird.
Batman Begins.
Yes.
It's what it sounds like. It is an origin story.
Year one, if you will.
A year one, that is true. It's kind of interesting. Like, we see flashbacks of this origin story, but I don't think they've done it yet in the films that we've watched. Like, actually, him first time putting on the suit. I don't think we've had that
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think he's already been.
We've seen
Batman
the damn parents die 4 times by now, though. That's for true.
Yes. We've definitely seen them die, and we'll see it some more.
Yeah, we will.
But in this, after his parents die, which I don't even think we need to talk about that. Besides that, it was Joe Cool.
Joe Chill.
You mentioned Joe Cool. Joe Chill.
Joe Cool is Snoopy.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Can you imagine Snoopy killing Batman's parents?
Yeah, he's Snoopy. Snoopy like points the gun, and then Woodstock's next to him, and he does the talking. He's like, "Cash and jewelry, put it in the bag,
bitches." Woodstock, what's happened to you guys? You've fallen a long way. Charlie Brown kicked us out.
8 peanuts grow up too.
Charlie couldn't take care of the damn beagle, so we got kicked out.
Yeah, they didn't allow him in the apartment. After his parents were killed, he tries to have a normal billionaire life besides the fact that he's a loner and super depressed all the time. He is going to Princeton, but I guess got kicked out. He came back for Joe Chill's trial. When he came out of the trial, he planned on killing him.
Yeah.
But Falcone got to it first. I'm sorry. He was testifying against Carmine Falcone's criminal underground organization.
Carmine, here played by Tom Wilkinson.
Yeah, and I really like his performance.
I like his performance.
Like,
I think John Turturro's performance and the Batman, the Rob Pat version. I think that's so much better.
I do like that version. I do
so
like
good.
that version quite a bit as well. But he played more classic Italian mafia guy.
Very bully.
This guy, yeah. But I think that Tom Wilkinson was a good choice because he's kind of unassuming.
Yeah, kind of.
And that's
he's just
how
bland white dude.
Yeah, but that's really in a criminal organization. That's how you rise to the tops. Is not to make too much noise until you got enough power to make moves.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I think he really worked for Falcone, especially the way how in this film he literally owns the town.
Yeah.
At this point, everybody knows it, but they can't prove it because nobody will talk. It'll get flushed out of the system because he's got people all through the system.
Yeah, there's so many dirty cops and everything working with them.
Yes. So he had this guy Chill killed, and then has a conversation with Bruce after Rachel Dawes slaps him for admitting that he wanted to murder Chill.
Yeah, Rachel
Bruce
here played by Kate Holmes.
Yes. Kate Holmes, not Maggie Gyllenhaal. Yeah. And
she's a miraculously clay-faced woman in the next movie.
Yeah. Hey! Is Rachel Dawes secretly Clayface?
Oh my god! The background info we never knew.
We're such nerds.
Meh, yeah. Yeah.
After a conversation with Falcone basically kind of calling him a pussy, and like if he wanted to, he could shoot and kill Bruce and nobody would care. And then he decides he's going to leave Gotham. He goes out into the world and learns what it is to be a criminal, what it is to be starving, to kind of understand Joe Chill a little bit more.
Yeah.
I do think he gains some sympathy for Joe Chill's situation, but, I'm sure he's still angry about his parents' murder. And we know he is, because while he's in prison for stealing his own shit, he's approached by Liam Neeson, playing Ducard.
Henry Ducard.
Spoilers, Ra's al Ghul, because I don't want to talk around that.
You don't want to talk about Ken Watanabe and his one of his first Christopher.
Okay, I mean, yeah, we could talk about him. I don't mind that. And talk about the whole setup and everything. But this is a very popular 20-year-old movie, so right. I don't feel bad about.
No,
spoilers.
But it is one of the first times Ken Watanabe worked with Christopher Nolan, and I think he's probably worked in every single Christopher Nolan movie since then.
That's true, he has.
Yeah. Well, I guess not in The Dark Knight, in The Dark Knight Rises. I guess he wasn't in those two because he was dead as shit.
That might have been a little awkward. Hey, though, if there was another Nolan Batman movie, I would want Liam Neeson to come back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Of Yeah, it makes sense. Because it makes sense.
Yeah. He's got that
if you don't know...
Lazarus pit.
Yeah, this is what I was going to say. If you don't know from the comics, Ra's al Ghul is famous for having these pits that are filled with this kind of like Fountain of Youth's elixir kind of thing, and bring you back from the dead. Yay. Lots of characters have been brought back from the dead this way.
Yep. It's an easy way to revive people in the DC comics. Yes, nobody stays dead forever.
So I think that would be really interesting. Christian Bale, it could be an even older man than he was in Batman and Dark Knight Rises, that is.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson maybe moves quicker than him because he's been revitalized by
because he's fucking Liam Neeson.
Yeah, because he's fucking Liam. I have a particular set of skills.
I have a particular set of skills, Bruce.
Yeah, and he teaches those skills to Bruce at the League of Shadows. And it's a ninjutsu organization. At least they teach the way of the ninja and several other martial arts. Mm-hmm. It's also called the League of Assassins sometimes, right? In the comics?
In the comics, yeah.
Are they interchangeable, or is there two different organizations?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they're used interchangeably.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they're interchangeable, but I know somebody's going to just tear us a new one in the comments on that.
Yeah, probably. Please do. I love to have my ass torn.
Yes, please.
Gets trained as a ninja, and then he passes their last initiation rite, which is taking this hallucinogenic flower that's been aerated through burning it. Yeah, it makes you hallucinate, as I said, and also causes panic. But the training is supposed to help you overcome that. And he does. And then, since he passed the test, Ken Watanabe says he's got to kill this farmer who stole something or did something.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't think that's necessary. Liam Neeson's like, no, you gotta do it. And he's
I don't
think so. And he kind of burns down his the temple and kills them all anyways.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's really, that is one of the big ironies of this entire trilogy. And we'll explore it more as we go on, of course. But in this one, he kills a lot of people, like whether he wants to say he didn't or not.
Yeah,
and they go out of their way. They go out of their way to be like, nobody died in the big police chase between the policemen of Gotham and Batman. I'm like, nobody died.
Like police cars.
He blew up 5 police cars. He drove across rooftops. Like,
yeah, he ruined historical buildings. Yeah.
Oh my god. Jesus, you cannot tell me that nobody fucking died in this movie.
Oh, that's funny. So the only ones that survive are an unconscious Ra's, being Ducard at this time, and Batman.
Yeah,
Bruce. And
much.
So he saves Ducard's life and leaves him in the care of some local villagers, and then goes back to Gotham.
Yeah.
And they literally have to bring him back to life legally. Because he's been gone for 7 years. Yeah,
his business is under the hands of other people. In fact, it's also going public soon, so it's like it's no longer a family enterprise. He's about to lose a lot of money. It would shame.
Yeah, well, they said that his shares would be fairly compensated.
Oh yeah. He'd get a lot of money out of selling, but
yeah, he's still going to be a billionaire, and I'm sure that there's plenty of money sitting in the bank, because while it all went to Alfred, I don't think he's been spending it crazy.
No, Michael Caine's just been living the good life, just buying all this luxury shit and relaxing, keeping the manor clean.
Yeah. When he picks him, being Bruce, up with the private jet, he mentions that, because he was declared dead, that everything went to him. He could borrow the rolls as long as he has it full before he brings it back. Michael Caine is a wonderful addition to this trilogy.
He's a really good Alfred. Yeah. I love his Alfred. It's not as comic book accurate, but that's fine. That's totally fine. That's fine. It's great. Yeah. It's good stuff.
I like Alfred being funny. There's not a lot of humor in this film. So it's great that he's able to be witty and still caring towards Bruce and stern with him when he thinks he needs to be.
Yeah.
He's definitely a good father figure for Bruce.
Yeah.
And he raised him through some tough shit, I'm sure. We don't get to see his teenage years.
Yeah, thank God. I would die of boredom.
Yeah, for real. Batman begins at the 2-hour mark. Which it kind of does feel like that a little bit with this movie.
Bit. Yeah.
I remember taking it over to my dad's house to watch, and I don't think that I had watched it before that. And they turned it on. We were watching it, and my dad eventually said, "Isn't this a Batman movie?" I think it was right when Ra's al Ghul and Bruce are fighting, sparring on the ice. And the big thing about that was you got to mind your surroundings, which plays throughout the film.
Yeah.
So that's worth mentioning.
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of bad guys saying something or douchebags saying something and the heroes getting to say it back to them later on in the movie.
Yes.
Which is it's good, but when you rewatch it, you're just kind of like, oh my God.
A lot of one-liners. I can't believe how many. I really didn't know that there were so many one-liners.
I know. It's crazy. And that actually
especially
brings
that
up
police scene, that chase.
Yeah, God, yeah. The car chase is ridiculous. And that brings up my biggest issue with the movie, which is the editing. The fight scenes, so poorly edited. I hate the fight scenes in this movie. It's a Taken thing. It's very similar. It's all these quick edits and close-ups and you can't see any shit that's going on. And it looks awful. Back the camera out, put it on a tripod, don't touch it at all. Keep all of the fight scene in one fucking shot, make it long, make it beautiful, get the choreography correct. That's what we want. Fucking Bruce Willis. Not Bruce Willis. Oh my God.
Bruce Willis's Batman, though, would have been a trip.
No, it would not have. I would have hated that.
Yeah.
No.
I didn't say I'd like it.
Christian Bale, though, learned fight choreography for this movie. And when you watch the movie, you're kind of... I was left wondering, why did you learn fight choreography? The camera's always in your face for the entire fights. You don't need to learn shit. Just throw your arms up because the camera's gonna fucking cut. It doesn't matter. That's my biggest issue with this movie, is the cutting. I hate the fight scenes. They look so ugly to me. The fight on the ice...
I didn't pay attention to that much this time around.
Yeah. The fighting on the ice is good. That's a great scene because the camera's really far away and you can see them sparring and it's good training. But whenever he's dressed as Batman, it's like they were afraid that you would understand that Christian Bale was being replaced by a stunt double or something, because it's like...
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, I couldn't. It was so irritating at times.
Becomes Batman. And he takes to the streets. He uses Batman because he's actually afraid of bats. And I don't know that they necessarily explain that in any of the other films we watched so far, or if that's really a prominent thing in the comic books at all. But I like that story at the beginning where he falls into the well and his dad comes and says this line that is... I think they might use it in the other two movies too. I'm not sure.
I think so, yeah.
But it's, why do we fall, Bruce? So we can pick ourselves back up. That's a good saying. It's it's good to let children know that life has its lessons and you can't let it bring you down. You got to move forward.
Yeah.
But that's kind of hard when I don't have any money.
Right. Money would not make me happy, but it would definitely allow me to be happier.
Yeah, it would make it a little easier.
It would make it a little easier.
But, this show does show in a lot of ways that money doesn't make you happy just by being there, because Bruce would much rather be poor with his parents alive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And they make that quite obvious. I think that maybe the money that he is spending on rebuilding the shit he broke
goodness,
might be just as well spent on redoing infrastructure.
Yeah. Jesus. Yeah, when he's driving across those rooftops, all I could think about was like, Batman, what in the fuck, bro? Goodness.
You just ruined that museum. What the fuck?
It's crazy. No, and
funny.
Again, as we mentioned, there's a lot of corrupt cops, but he finds in James Gordon, played by Gary Oldman.
Yes.
In my opinion, the best Gary Oldman there's ever been. He finds in Jim Gordon a friend, an ally,
the best Gary Oldman.
Somebody to help him fight this corruption that's not only in the cops, but also just in the city in general. So that's good. I enjoy Batman and Jim Gordon's chemistry in this movie. You get a lot of good setup for the Batman disappearing mid conversation and all these good things. This movie was supposedly inspired by The Long Halloween. The only area I see the Long Halloween inspiration. What was that?
The Scarecrow in it.
Well, the Scarecrow's only in one issue of the Long Halloween. He's not a big character in the Long Halloween. The Long Halloween more focuses on bringing down the Falcone family and that kind of stuff. And it's, I understand where the inspiration's at, but I think the more inspiration from the comic itself comes across in that Jim Gordon Batman relationship, because it's them working together to stop this corruption, and that's the good stuff. That's the good bits.
Yeah, that's the good stuff.
The fear of bats that comes from year one and Frank Miller's Dark Knight story. Those are great comics as well. I don't know. I think Rob Pat's The Batman nailed the more Long Halloween feel that this movie was trying to act like it was going for. It's this movie is still great. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, I was really surprised that they went back to the Falcone family.
Yeah,
But I'm glad they did, because the shit that happened in the Penguin was awesome.
Oh yeah, that was good stuff. Good stuff.
We mentioned the Scarecrow. He is an important character in this film. He does seem really minor when you first watch it, especially if you don't know the comics. Right. Dr. Jonathan Crane is a psychopharmacologist, and he's played by Cillian Murphy. One of the first things I remember seeing him in, actually.
That's fair.
That made an impact on me anyways.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic actor.
One of my favorite stories to tell about Batman Begins is Cillian Murphy had initially auditioned for the role of Bruce Wayne, Batman. And Christopher Nolan loved his audition, but his eyes were too pretty for Batman. But he still wanted to use this man, so he gave him the role of the Scarecrow. And I agree. I cannot agree harder. There's certain physical traits of Batman that you just can't have. You see Cillian Murphy's eyes, and you put them behind that mask, you're like, you're fucking Batman, bro. I know you're Batman because your eyes are goddamn gorgeous. And it's the same thing with Ben Affleck. People love Ben Affleck as Batman. I'm sorry, you see that fucking butt chin in the goddamn mask, and you're like, that's Ben Affleck. There's no hiding that that's Bruce Wayne.
I can agree. Yeah, if you put a bobblehead in the mask, you're gonna know. Hey, I have a bobblehead. I wasn't making fun. It's just the facts.
It's true.
So, Cillian Murphy, I think, does a great job as phenomenal. This character. Also, probably is my first introduction to this character as well. Because I didn't read the DC comics before college, really. Dr. Crane is, as we said, he's a chemist of the psychic kind. And he is obsessed with fear. He gets in touch somehow with the Falcones, I'll say, they're bringing him this drug where it's just going to him, and he's using it to weaponize a fear drug.
Yeah.
But Scarecrow is just a proxy for dun 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 spoilers, the League of Shadows.
They're still alive.
You're not gonna do a big like villainous organization in the beginning of the movie and not bring them into the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It just doesn't work that way. Mm-mm. It would be really sad if they did.
It would have been a bad movie. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So Roz literally shows up at Bruce's birthday party.
Yeah, it's a good scene. Good scene.
Yeah, it's a good scene. He knows that means, oh shit, the League is gonna destroy Gotham. Yeah. Like, he had already put those pieces together. However, like, as soon as his interrogation with Crane led Crane to say Ra's al Ghul was who he's working for, he didn't buy it.
No.
And I'm like, from this time, this viewing of it, I was like, Bruce, why would he say that?
Yeah, right.
Nobody else is named Ra's al Ghul. Like,
and I like the shout out because people don't really like. There's so many people who you have two different audiences. You have Ra's al Ghul, you have Ra's al Ghul, and
right.
And I love when there's this white woman at Bruce's party who she's like, Bruce, I gotta introduce you to this man. Am I pronouncing this right? Ra's al Ghul? And I was just like, thank you. Somebody said funny.
It. That is funny. I think I honestly prefer Ra's, but they call him Roz throughout the movie,
exactly.
So.
I prefer Ra's too, but you know, if he's gonna be played by a guy named Henry Ducard, I think it makes sense to call him Roz.
Yeah. They're gonna destroy the city like they said they've done to several cities in the past, which I love that monologue. This is when it comes up. Yeah. I think Bruce has to try to stop them, but he's pinned under his burning mansion, and Alfred runs in and he says, "What?" That was gonna be a really bad go. I'm okay. I could do it though. I could do it. What's the point of all those push-ups if you can't even lift a bloody log?
And I love Batman's face, too, because he's, like, coming out of unconsciousness, and he's like, fuck you. Oh, it's good stuff, man. No, it's a very good... and then after that, of course, you get the Batman tackling down Ra's al Ghul and the League of Shadows and putting an end to the fear toxin. Like, I mean, there's a lot of chaos and mayhem, but it's good stuff. I really enjoy the story. I enjoy it's a good origin story. I'll say that. Like, it's really well done how they set everybody up. I think the only two people we really missed were Morgan Freeman plays Lucius Fox, who is
that's correct.
Batman's supplier of weapons and armor and everything.
Yes. He works. He used to be pretty high up executive in Wayne Industries, but as soon as Tom died, William Earl, the guy who took over the board, sent him to be an archive in the basically the trash bin of their R&D department.
Yeah. And William Earl's the last guy I want to talk about because that's just Rutger Hauer. I mean, we gotta mention Rutger Hauer. Like,
yeah, that's true. He's in this. That's true.
Such a minor role, but it's so funny.
Yeah, I guess we did kind of just talk him not that long ago, did we? A few months back.
Yeah.
He is in this show that I started watching a little while ago. Just the first couple episodes as a blind old Viking man, blind old Danish man, I should say, and. It's The Last Kingdom, and it's set during the Anglo-Saxon period of the British Isles, and I should say the Danish invasion. It's really interesting, and he plays this old blind guy who is nice to the protagonist when he's a kid. And then he gets killed.
Love it. Who hides tube socks? Old Viking dudes. all
Oh,
I could think
Viking
of.
dudes.
Oh, Viking dudes. Oh, man. But no, I'm ready for closing statements if you are. I think we've talked the movie.
I'll mention the other thing I want to mention during mine.
Absolutely.
So, Rachel Dawes, I just don't want to, what do I want to say? I don't want to wash over her involvement in this film. She's a lot of the reason why Falcone gets taken down. She's a DA. So, I think that this job, out of a lot of the superhero movies, especially 20 years ago, does a good job of making the female character important to the plot.
Yeah.
Like, she's not just a figure for his love interest.
Yeah.
There's still some tropey stuff and stuff that I think filmmakers try to steer away from nowadays. Like, maybe cast more than one woman. That might be good.
Might help it a little bit.
Yeah, but I do appreciate that she actually contributes to the plot. And that she wants to take down corruption just as much as Bruce does. She's just doing it through the system. So I wanted to say that before I do my closing statements. Beyond that, upon this being like my 5th or 6th rewatch, because it's not my favorite of the 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think I like it a lot more than I used to. I think the first time I watched it, I was like, yeah, it takes a really long time for Batman to be a part of the story.
Right.
I think that it's pretty well written. It has a good secular story that, we like. Circular. What is
secular?
Anyway. Anyhow, I like it. I'm going to go ahead and give it a face.5 because I'd watch it again, I think it is a good Batman movie, and it kind of makes you understand this billionaire character, even though it's kind of hard to respect that right now, in my personal opinion, being
No, I agree with you.
Bruce
Wayne is probably the only billionaire that I can come anywhere close to enjoying.
Yeah, and then he's still a dick.
He's still a dick. Yeah. He purposefully here in this movie puts on this douchebaggery air, which I love. That's one of the things I really like is watching him pretty much destroy the Wayne name in order to be Batman. And then at the end of the movie with his... It was good, but it's like at the end of the movie with his love interest, you get that Spider-Man, Sam Raimi Spider-Man moment where Mary Jane comes up to Peter Parker and she's like, oh, he kisses me just like Spider-Man did. And it's like, a good reveal. Well, like, it's the same thing here. He lets Rachel Dawes know, through a sly use of words, which I love.
Yeah. Like, it was figured out by that point, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. But you get to the end, though, and she refuses to be with him, not because of Bruce Wayne being a douche, because she knows he's not. She knows that's just an air he puts on, but because Gotham needs this new hero and she doesn't want to be with a man in a mask. Like, she's not into the Dami lifestyle. But no, I like it.
I thought that was interesting because it was almost the opposite of that Sam Raimi scene, because Mary Jane doesn't care that he's Spider-Man. She loves him maybe more for it. Yeah,
exactly.
And he's like, I can't do that. I can't put you in peril like that. And then he regrets it the next movie. Well... Oh yeah, I'm sorry, you didn't give it a rating.
But yeah, I enjoy it a lot. I think again, my only big take on it is the fight scenes. I cannot stand quick edited close-up fight scenes. They're just so ugly. And that's the only thing that really drags this movie down for me is some of the editing. I think the music from James Newton Howard, and he does all the fucking... Hans Zimmer. I think that music is brilliant. I love the soundtrack in this. It's really phenomenal. Chris Nolan,
Works.
like, immediate new name for himself. Like, he went above and beyond. He really, showed a whole new style of directing and attention to detail and everything. It's really good. Like, I love the outfit. I love the gadgets. I love the Batmobile. Like, it's all wonderful. But I still only give it 4 stars because I agree with you. I think it's my least favorite of the 3. Maybe it'll change when we rewatch the other 2, but it's not the one I come back to the most. Mm-hmm. But it's a really damn good setup for a trilogy. It's really nice, really dark, really beautiful. So I give it 4 stars.
Awesome. Well, if you haven't watched Batman Begins, we do recommend it. Just know that it is a very slow build origin story for a well-established character.
Exactly.
Well, I think that's been the show.
Yeah. Haha! Yeah. Jinx. I'm the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
And I am the Faceless Leon. Safe travels and good night. Green and Faceless on the Couch is a proud production of FictionWorks 19. Are you a fan of the show? Feel free to contact us at greenandfacelessfans@gmail.com or visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/greenandfaceless. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, or rate us on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for listening.